Many of you don't know.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. There is outrage tonight among minority MPs who say they are simply shocked by attempts to sell off the Speaker of Parliament's official residence at Cantonments while he still resides in that property. Now, Mr. Abambabing at a breakfast forum today revealed his official residence was almost sold to a private developer, although he did not mention who made that attempt to sell the property. Listen.
Many of you don't know that even the residence of the Speaker was almost sold to private sector. Actually, it was given out. It's when they went to register that Lands Commission identified that that is the residence of the Speaker. Luckily, I was inside, so it was saved.
Well, Member of Parliament for South Dai, Roxing Nelson Dafiamepo says several properties close to the Speaker's residence have allegedly been reclassified and sold to private developers.
The Speaker said today, go to the official residence in Cantonments and see the developments around the residence in question. All the residences around, all the neighboring residential properties that share wall with the Speaker's official residence have been developed into these obscene craze for, modern apartment buildings, 2, 3, 4-story buildings containing apartments with private people occupying it. So you can be in your room and be looking into the compound of the Speaker of Parliament. It doesn't happen anywhere on this globe. The residences of the President, the Vice President, the Speaker of Parliament, the head of the Judiciary, and some other key occupiers of public institutions anywhere in this country are off limits to these things. I've had the privilege to traveling to at least a handful of countries since I became an MP, and I've had the privilege of visiting the official residences of heads of state, heads of state institutions in some countries. Some you have to drive like 1 kilometer before you get to the residence from the main road. So the information hit everybody at the function. And Speaker being who he is, he tried to water it down that but the transaction was reversed because Lands Commission discovered it. But imagine that the person didn't take the steps to perfect his title and decided to proceed on the mere leasehold agreement between himself and whoever gave him whoever entered into that agreement with him. The person could have embarrassed the Speaker. So this is a matter that we ought not to allow to go uninterrogated.
Well, we've been hearing from the Works and Housing Minister, Francis Esilbachi, who has distanced himself from the supposed sale.
The Ministry of Works and Housing is not aware of any such sale. The said property is not under the management of the Ministry of Works and Housing. And as such, we do not have any control of the property, which therefore means that we are not in the position to sell it. When it comes to sale of state land, state property, state landed property, it is the duty of Lands Commission to do so, and not the Ministry of Works and Housing.
Okay, so it's the Lands Commission that will be in the known of this. But as far as you are concerned,
lease of state property, landed property,
okay,
it is under the control of Lands Commission. It's only Lands Commission that can lease. That is one.
Okay.
Second, the said property that you are talking about is not even under the management of Ministry of Works and Housing, and therefore we do not have control over the property. So you may have to get a full understanding of what the Right Honourable Speaker was saying and get the full details so that you know exactly who to approach to find answers to that.
But as a member of Parliament, I am sure that this comes as a surprise to you as well. Or what were your initial thoughts when you heard the Speaker make these comments?
Well, I mean, this has nothing to do with me being a member of Parliament. I mean, this is a state property managed by a specific state organization. So it is only the state institution that is responsible for that particular property that can answer that question. And I'm saying that I have checked with the officials of the ministry, and it's not one of the properties under the management of the ministry. And the ministry is not aware of any such sale of that particular property.
And we are now in possession of a document that tracks what really happened to this particular property in question where the Speaker currently resides. Emefa Powell joins me with that. What do we know, Emefa?
So we know that the Lands Commission received an application. I can give you the number of that application, but this is dated 15th November. And this application was for a certificate of allocation on a parcel of land situated at Cantonments, serving as the official residence. And this bungalow is number 27 at the 4th Circular Road and is housing the Speaker of Parliament. Well, information we are gathering on the records is that it revealed that the site is state land acquired under certificate of title dated 7th June 1920 for government services. This is when it was acquired, 7th June 1920 for government services.
It's a state land.
Exactly. And statutory processes including planning approval from the Dadekotopo Municipal Assembly and the approval of the Regional Lands Commission was sought at the 64th regular meeting held on 22nd of December 2022 before an offer dated 14 February 2023 was made to the Parliamentary Service. Well, after payment of all the requisite fees, a certificate of allocation dated 28th April 2023 was executed for the service. Now, it is evident that at no time was the property allocated to a private developer. From the records that we are seeing, at no time was this property allocated to a private developer. Well, the property, we are told, remains government land since its acquisition in 1920 till date. So any impression that the subject land was subject of a grant to any private developer is false. And what we know, we also have a copy of the certificate of allocation, which we are also seeing when it was actually allocated to the Parliamentary Service, amongst others, Evans.
And if you read that document, it says in part, and this is to the Greater Accra, the chairperson of the Greater Accra Regional Lands Commission, and the details are in there. Also to the Clerk of Parliament. And it says the chairperson of the Greater Accra region hereby certified that allocation to Parliament Service of Ghana of all the piece or parcel of land measuring an approximate, and it sort of gives the details of this particular of this particular property. And this is dated the 28th day of April 2023.
Exactly.
Okay. Thankfully, we can speak to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister who joins us on the line right now, Samuel Abu-Jinapo. Mr. Jinapo, thanks for your time here on Top Story.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Evans, and thank you for having me. And good evening to your cherished listeners.
Have you been briefed on this, and what do you know?
Well, thank you very much. So I got this information of this post, a WhatsApp post by a particular MP. I think it was Kafiamapo or something, this morning. And as I was as alarmed as I believe many Ghanaians would have been. And normally what I would do is to assemble the facts. So I drew the attention of the Land Commission to this particular claim. And it's as a result of that inquiry by myself, which is revealed, or which is unraveled the information that you have just been putting out, which is really the records or the brief relating to this particular land. So that's the first point I'd like to make. The second one is to say that the Lands Commission is a repository of all records relating to land transactions in Ghana. So if you wanted any information about a particular parcel of land, you have to go to the Lands Commission. So in the case of this particular land or this particular property, as the Minister for Works and Housing rightly pointed out, you have to go to the Lands Commission, as I did. And I have in my hand here, I see that you've already had a scoop on it. It's already in your possession, which is titled Brief on Request for Certificate of Allocation on the Official Residence of the Speaker of Parliament, into brackets, bungalow number 27, 4th Circular Road. And the records relating to this particular bungalow is what you've just put out. And the records, the information I have from the Lands Commission, the preliminary information I have from the Lands Commission, is that they claim that the bungalow of the Speaker of Parliament is a subject matter of a private transaction and that it's been allocated or is been bought by a private developer. It's not correct. That's the information I have from the Lands Commission. Of course, I've asked the Executive Secretary and Chairman of the Lands Commission to appear before me tomorrow, or someone them before me, to give me further brief and detail on this particular matter, because I'm as concerned as all Ghanaians will be. But as you can see from this particular report, which was prepared for me by the Lands Commission, they claim that this property is being bought by a private developer is not correct. Evans, on the contrary, it will rather appear that the Lands Commission has, on the contrary, taken steps to affirm the interest or title of the parliamentary service in this particular parcel of land, in this particular bungalow. In other words, the Lands Commission is gone a step further to, if you want, make the title or interest of the parliamentary service unimpeachable. Because as you may know, the new Lands Act, Act 1036, the Lands Act of 2020, stipulates that state agencies can be given certificate of allocation. And when certificate of allocation are granted to state agencies, their title or interest in parcels of land become a lot more stronger and becomes a lot more affirmed. And a third party cannot deal in that particular parcel of land without recourse to a state agency. And as you read out, as recently as 14 February 2023, the Lands Commission took steps to grant a certificate of allocation in respect of the Speaker's bungalow to the Parliamentary Service Board. And you will see it here, have it here. It's attached to the report that was prepared for me. Certificate of allocation, Cantonments, Accra, site for Parliamentary Service of Ghana. I, Surveyor Yvonne Adole Sosoa, Chairperson of the Greater Accra Region, hereby certify the allocation to Parliamentary Service of Ghana of all that piece or parcel of land and numbered, measuring so and so and so, and it goes on and on and on and on. Signed, Chairperson of the Greater Accra Regional Lands Commission, and it's addressed to the Clerk of Parliament, Parliamentary Service of Ghana. And then you also have the site plan attached. So, I mean, I really wish that the Clerk of Parliament or the Speaker, because I have a very...
Have you reached out to them? Because the Speaker is emphatic that this was almost sold, that the individuals who attended to sell this had attempted to register the property, and it was at that point that it was flagged.
Yes, I'm not in Accra. When I come back, I'll seek audience with the Speaker and get an understanding of the information the Speaker has. And the Speaker every now and again calls me about all manner of issues, and I would have really wished that this was brought to my attention. I would have given him this information. And as I say, I've asked the Executive Secretary and the Chairperson of the Lands Commission to come and give me further briefing tomorrow when I return. But Evans, the records are here. You've seen the records. On the contrary, the Lands Commission is rather taking multiple steps to affirm the interests of the parliamentary service in this particular parcel of land. And the report I have states categorically that this land is not being sold to any private individual. It was state land as far back as 1920. As recently as 2023, the Chairperson of the Greater Accra Regional Lands Commission actually executed a deed which allocated this particular land, a certificate allocation in favor of the Parliamentary Service Board. So I mean, I must say that I'm a bit baffled by where all of this is coming from. What will be the basis of that claim? But I'll follow it up.
Yeah, if you listen to the Speaker, if indeed an attempt was made to register the land, in your briefing from the Lands Commission, did they indicate to you that indeed they had flagged an attempt to register this property?
No, I don't. That's why I said I would be happy to get more details, and I would speak to the Parliamentary Service and also speak to the Lands Commission when I return. But the land was state land as far back as 1920. So the only outfit that can grant an interest in the land will be the Lands Commission. And it's this same Lands Commission that is rather, on the contrary, giving the Parliamentary Service Board, the Parliamentary Service, a certificate of allocation. So there's something that doesn't add up somewhere. I need to check that out.
And indeed, if indeed,
because hold on, I'm not cutting you. Sorry, It's not as though it's a private land. The land belongs to a private individual who can then sell to another private person. And when the person attempts to come and register it to the Lands Commission says, come on, listen, this one belongs to the Speaker, is the residence of the Speaker, so we cannot register the interest. Here it is that this is state land as far back as 1920. So the only body that can grant an interest in this land will be the Lands Commission. And it's the Lands Commission that is telling that in their records, they don't have any transaction in favor of a private.
But they must certainly have record of an attempt, if you believe what the Speaker says, to register that same property.
Attempt to register what? Well, what will you be registering?
Well, the Speaker, if you listen to the Speaker, says an attempt was made to register, and it was at that point that this was flagged. And so the Lands Commission would have the record. That attempt was an attempt to register.
I don't know. I'm struggling to explain the process to you. You acquire the interest first. You have to have a leasehold. And I'm saying you can only have a leasehold from the Lands Commission. Unless the Lands Commission itself granted a leasehold previously, then we have to check that out. But the records that have been given to me suggest that there's not been any transaction to a private developer in respect of this parcel of land. The transactions they have chronicled for me, which you have read out, indicates that 1920 it was acquired as state land. As recently as 2023, the Greater Accra Regional Lands Chairperson granted a certificate of allocation in favor of the Parliamentary Service. So these are the transactions on the records of the Lands Commission. So which interest will then have been, will anybody have acquired, let alone for the person to attempt to register it when the land in question is state land? Who would have granted that interest?
And I guess the
record the Lands Commission has.
And I guess the investigations must also establish the identities of these individuals, if indeed they made the attempt.
Who are they? Who are those individuals? Did the Speaker mention any person's name?
He did not, but he says people attempted. And if that's true, will the investigations also try to establish who they are?
Well, let's see what comes out of this inquiry. But I'm saying that the Lands Commission is a repository of records when it comes to land in Ghana that nobody can question. If you want to buy a parcel of land, even from a private individual, and you wanted the records in respect of that parcel of land, you don't have to go anywhere. You have to go to the Lands Commission. Even as much as the Lands Commission has all these challenges that we are aware of, you still will have to go to the Lands Commission because that is a creature of law. And I'm saying that when I got this information this morning, I think I got it at about 11 a.m. or so, I did what every responsible minister should do and every responsible citizen will do. When you have an information like that, you have to go to the source of all records relating to lands. And I went to Lands Commission. Lands Commission has pulled this information for me and said there's no such transaction. There's no transaction in favor of a private individual. And as a matter of fact, what has rather happened, contrary to any fear of the land being sold or the interest of the Parliamentary Service being compromised, is that their interest has been affirmed as recently as 2023. So there could be no cause for any concern.
You'll be talking to
These are the records.
You'll be talking to the Speaker?
Say that again.
You'll be talking to the Speaker?
No, I haven't. I will find him. I'll find him. The Speaker is a very, his doors are always open. I'll find a way of reaching out to the Speaker to understand what he has and what his concerns are. And then we'll deal with them. We will take them up. I get reports from people from all shades of our society about public lands and how we protect them and so on and so on. When people give you information, you don't have to dismiss that information. You have to take it up. You have to follow it up, as I have done, because you will not have all the information at your disposal. But on this particular occasion, this is the records available to the Lands Commission, and the records suggest clearly that this so-called sale of this land to a private individual cannot be correct. So we will take it up from here.
Your colleague in Parliament, Roxing Dafiamekbo, was the one who tweeted this at this breakfast forum. Roxing is with me. Roxing, you've heard the minister. You've seen I don't know if you've seen the document, but we've articulated its content. Does it address the concerns as you heard it expressed by the Speaker?
First of all, let me say that I am offended by the reference by the Minister for Land and Natural Resources that he got a tweet from Dafiamekbo or something. I am not Dafiamekbo or something. I am his senior at the bar and his senior in Parliament. This sort of attitude has to stop. I was at the breakfast meeting. I was invited by the speaker. And the speaker surprised all of us with this information. So as a member of parliament, as the elected representative of the people of South Nine, it was my duty to amplify this matter. Now, he claimed that my tweet was referred to him. What was the content of my tweet? My tweet was based on what speaker said. So I think the first thing he ought to have done was to have authenticated the source of the tweet. And indeed, you have played the speaker's voice. Speaker actually said exactly, in essence, what I've tweeted. So the minister ought to have gone beyond what he said he had done. He ought to have asked, since the acquisition of the land in 1920, it is 103 years by our laws, land laws and all the laws governing property in this country. Any leasehold would have fluctuated with time after 99 years. Whatever your interest, after 99 years, it is gone. So if it is on record that the Lands Commission is perfecting and issuing a certificate of title to parliamentary service in 2023, nearly 14 years after the fluxing of title of this acquisition, what did they do? Did they go back to the people to reacquire the land? These are the fundamental matters. So if he, as the minister of the sector and a lawyer, says that Lands Commission has perfected some title in 2023, when the acquisition was done in 1920, that is 103 years. What is it saying? What is the minister saying? Did Land Commission have title to perfect after 99 years? These are the technical matters he ought to be speaking to. So Speaker is alleging that something happened, perhaps after the fluxing of title after 99 years. He hasn't addressed that matter. As the principle of NEMO, that can Land Commission perfect issue a certificate of title to land that they didn't have any interest in. Interest has died after 99 years. So they should stop showing disrespect to people and address issues when we raise them. I am not in some Dafiamepo or something. I am the elected representative of the people of South Sudan and a member of the Parliament of the Republic.
Hello.
Need to address me as such.
Mr. Jinapal, just a second. Roxing, to the substance of it, though. This Lands Commission document says it remains a state land.
No, Evans, I'm raising a technical point of law. I'm saying that after 99 years, whatever interest any state institution has in land, after 99 years, it is gone. So you must take steps to renew. Has the Lands Commission shown any evidence that after the flushing of the title in 2009, which will be 99 years, because the acquisition was in 1920. So if the acquisition happened in 1920, it means the title would have a flux with time in 2029. Have they renewed the title before supposedly perfecting it and issuing certificates to the parliamentary service in 2023?
Is it your
matter we must address?
Is it your contention that it will revert to your original owners on the spirit?
Exactly. So we don't know. So you see, if by a flushing of operation of law, the title has reverted to original owners, maybe it is one of those families who must have done this. So the minister should be calm and look into the issues raised by Speaker. I am only amplifying what my Speaker of Parliament put out this morning, which shocked the whole country.
Mr.
It shouldn't be relying on a certain certificate issued by the Lands Commission in 2023 for a land acquired in 1920. What is Abu saying?
Roxing, stay with me. Mr. Jinapo.
Yes, sir.
You have a response.
So first of all, let me say to my friend, Honorable Dafiamapo, that when I refer to him as Dafiamapo, I did so because I'm on a first name basis with him.
No, you said Dafiamapo or something.
Please, let me finish.
You said Dafiamapo or something.
Please, I'm just saying that I did so because I'm on a first name basis with him, and no disrespect intended. If he felt disrespected, I'm profusely sorry. I apologize to him. Just as he in his concluding remarks referred to me as Abu, I don't take offense to that because we are colleagues and sometimes we just speak to each other in a bit more casual way. I'm sorry, please. Secondly, the allegation, I think it's important that we do not divert or we do not distract the substance of the allegation. The allegation was that Speaker's residence at Cantonments in Accra was sold to a private developer whilst he was in that residence. I'll repeat. The Speaker's residence at Cantonments in Accra was sold to a private developer whilst he was in that residence. That is what I checked out. And when I checked that, I wasn't checking out original owners, whether the original owners attempted to register the land for themselves or whether the 99 years efflution and then what happens. What I checked was that the Speaker's residence at Cantonment in Accra was sold to a private developer whilst he was in that residence.
In the interest of facts, the Speaker actually said something different from what Roxanne.
That's okay, no problem. I didn't hear the Speaker,
no, I get you. I mean, this is good for our audiences. Roxing's post, which you referenced, is that the Speaker, back when reviewed that the Speaker's residence at Cantonments in Accra was sold to a private developer. The Speaker was said something different. This is just a few seconds of this, just to clarify this, so we can get to the substance.
Many of you don't know that even the residence of the Speaker was almost sold to private sector. Actually, it was given out. It's when they went to register that Lands Commission identified that is the residence of the Speaker. Luckily, I was inside, so it was safe.
So he says was almost sold, not sold.
So that's exactly the point I'm making, which is that this is what I'm checking out. I was not checking out original owners and a fruition of 99 years and so on and so forth. And Evans, and I believe that many of your listeners will agree that based on the records that have been assembled so far, and I repeat, so far, it will appear that this particular claim that the Speaker's residence has been sold or almost sold to a private developer, it will appear that that is not correct. That's number two. Number three, the issue of a fruition of time, 99 years, and we can check all of those out. But I think I'll point out to my friend, Honorable Dafia Makwa. I have to be careful when I'm calling him now. Honorable Dafia Makwa, that there's also the concept of freehold and so on and so forth, and therefore a fruition will not come up. But more importantly, the Lands Commission will not be able, by law, to grant a certificate of allocation to parliamentary service or any institution if they do not have good title. You can only pass on, you can grant a certificate of allocation when you have good title. I can therefore reasonably presume or assume that this particular parcel of land, the title to that land, which makes it state land, is all perfect. It's all been perfected. But as I say, these are matters we can check out. But that was not the substance, or that is not the issue we are dealing with here. We are dealing with the Speaker's residence having been sold or almost being sold to a private developer. And that is what I am working on. And as I say, tomorrow I'll get much more briefing and I'll update the country accordingly and update possibly the Speaker himself. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Roxy?
Yes, Evans, thank you very much. I think you also try to play some mischief.
Just for clarity.
Hold on. If you play the Speaker's voice, he said it was almost sold, and he said, in fact, it was given out. It was given out. It was given out. It was sold. It was only when the person attempted to register that it was discovered. So play the voice in full, then you can get the meaning of what Speaker said. When he said that it was almost, he added that in fact it was given out. The meaning of giving out is that something has been sold. That's what giving out means. It means it has parted to another.
The minister says he's going to look into this beyond.
Exactly. I'm happy.
Happy with that?
We are interested in this being looked into. We are. I mean, the fact that this could be contemplated is what is worrying all of us. The fact that it could be contemplated
That's my point.
Thank you very much, Roxing. That's Roxing Nelson Dafia-Mekbo. Earlier, you had the Land and Natural Resources Minister. This is something, obviously, that we're keeping a close eye on, as the Minister has assured tonight that there'll be further probing of this particular matter. Newsnight